to talk about your new bill. It allows AI companies to get waivers for some of their products on federal regulations. How would those waivers work?
So that's exactly right. This week I'm introducing legislation that is a regulatory sandbox legislation. A sandbox is an approach other countries have taken, the United Kingdom has taken, where you allow innovation and you allow exceptions from otherwise burdensome regulations. This is part of President Trump's AI action plan. And I got to say, the stakes here are enormous. You know, this summer, China laid out its plan to accomplish its audacious goal of dominating AI by 2030. China is spending every day, it is spending massive amounts of money to beat the United States. And the question of who wins the race for AI is going to determine who prospers and who loses in the coming decades. And as far as I'm concerned, as long as I'm chairman of the Senate Commerce Committee, everything possible is going to be done for America to win the race for AI because the future, the prosperity of workers depends on it.
So a lot of focus here on innovation, but how do we make sure that these regulations that are supposed to protect consumer safety, consumer privacy are still being implemented?
Well, the way the regulatory sandbox legislation works is that AI innovators can make applications to the federal government to get an exception from a particular regulatory system to experiment, to innovate. And I'll give an example. In the United Kingdom, they've employed AI to deal with strokes. And they've ended up tripling the rate of returning to functional independence. So helping people recovering from a stroke, getting back healthy. In the United States, it's incredibly difficult to innovate because the HIPAA laws are so constraining that accessing the medical data is difficult. That's an example where if you could get an exemption, and the way the legislation is written, you would apply to the federal government for an exemption for a particular regulation. The federal government would grant those, but then would report periodically to Congress specifically what regulations were granted exemptions so that you would have ongoing oversight. But the purpose of this, one country or another is going to win this race for AI. And if we constrain our innovators here, it's going to be other countries rather than America. We can't let that happen.